we're going to learn how to deploy a honeypot within Azure services. Okay, so first, we are going to need a resource. You can create one for Azure students. I use this for my personal um, WGU account, but you would have to create one on yourselves, and I will post the link on creating a resource down below. Once you get that set up, you can click on your resource. All right, an ID. Hey everyone, thanks for hey everyone. Today we're going to learn how to create and deploy a honeypot within Azure services. Um, First of all, you're going to need a resource here, dedicated. I have a Azure for Students. I believe this is created with my WGU account, and it has about, I think at the time of recording, is $100 in credentials that you can use. So first, we're going to use a virtual machine here. And I'll post all the links and all the resources I use on the bottom. So if this is a little bit too much, you can follow along here. Um, so we can create a new virtual machine here, Azure Virtual Machine. And the resource that I'm going to be using for the honeypot would be TPOT, um, which will be right here. Again, I'll post this in the link in the chat. This is the teapot that we're using. Um, and this is the article that we are going to be using as well from Christopher Ryder. So just follow along. I'll also post these together into the description below. And yeah, let's get to it. So first, we're going to have to create a subscription. We're using the Azure for Students resource group. We can create a new one, which is going to name it as Honeypot. Okay. Um, Virtual machine name. Well, we'll just go hpot teapot. Okay. Region. I don't think this is too important, but I am in the central area. So let's go. Oh, let's go with east. Availability zone. I think we can just go with zone 1 here. Okay. I'm looking over the article right now. It doesn't really say much. This article is a little dated. This was back in 2020, if you can see right here. So a few changes has occurred within the GitHub. So yeah, we might have to change it to the appropriate image. So according to their GitHub here, we will be needing distros running on the cloud. It looks like 24.0, so 04. So that might be the LTS here that we see. So it's definitely an Ubuntu one. So this might be it. Yeah, let's go with Gen 2. I think we have to do Gen 2 here. All right. And then standard size. It looks like this is already locked in. So $70 a month. Again, you can, there's two options. You can do the student and then you can go pay as you go. So that's what I recommend, the pay as you go a month. Authentication type, SSH public key, or password. According to the article, it looks like um, it looks like we will need a few items here. So we will need an SSH key. There's a documentation here. Make sure you add the public SSH key and store your private in a safe place. 128 gigabyte premium and the click next on networking. Okay, so it looks pretty standard. We can do, let's just go with password. Let's go in honey pot password. Okay. All right. Then not much. Interesting. Okay. I think we might need to do a public key instead then. SSH, yep. So we would need to generate a new pair. Generate a new pair, RSA, SSH format, key pair name. Go honey, honey, pot, pot. Public inbound ports. So according to the article here, I believe you will need to inbound ports. Yep. So you'll see that we need to do some inbound ports, VM networking. Again, this is a little bit on the dated side, so looks like it went through here, and then you would be setting up UC port 22, add inbound rule. Okay, so this is afterwards. Allowed. So since we are creating a honeypot, we want all, if not most, important ports open. So allowed selected ports. Let's just go with all of them, right? Review and create. Missing or invalid basics. Interesting. What is missing here? Okay. The all sizes. Interesting. 954. Hmm. I guess I'd have to change the zones. Not available in zone 1. Zones 2 are supported. So let's just go zone 2. Zones 2. Okay, looks clear, looks clear. $20 a month. I don't know. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, while we let this create, I can look over a few things here. Oh, validation passed. Okay, so it looks like we can. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, let's create it. Download private key. Yes, you. When it comes to this, we should be doing this as well. And create a resource. So download your private key, and it should be going through. And initializing template deployment for resource group honeypot. Perfect. Okay, while that's going on, some blending deployment. Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Overview, I guess we can look into the inputs, if there's anything new. Inputs, template, overview. Okay. Looks like everything's all good to go, and let's go home. Perfect. Okay. So, on our next step, once we have that in, we have to SSH into honeypot key. Make sure nobody sees that. Now that we've deployed it, and we have it under our resources, we can go in here. Okay. And now we're gonna have to I think we'd have to create another one. So we have our honeypot here. We'd have to create one more source, another virtual machine, where we can SSH into our Azure VM. So let's go here. So we have our selection of our virtual machines. We can create one more that we will be using to SSHing into. So let's go here, Azure for Students, create new resource, Azure. Let's go SSH. Windows SSH to pot to HPOT. Go with that. Peace. Okay, let's go with that. Now make sure when you're creating a new one, you just want to do I guess just a regular Windows Pro version. Now you can do the whole Defender. There's a whole Defender image and all that stuff, but that does cost more if you go here. So server, we just would need a regular Windows 10, I believe. Yeah, let's just go with the regular Windows 10. Just choose a version, 2019. I think we can just use this. Image not compatible with the selected security type. Okay. Let's just go with that. Okay. Looks like we still need to do another zone 2. Username. I guess we can just keep the same one. Okay. Ends. There. Spot. Alright. Passwords must match. Allowed selected ports. RDP. It looks like we can do. Again, let's just do them all. Remote desktop protocol would probably be best, to be honest with you, but just in case, let's just do this. Review and create. I think we should have changed the disk space on it. Okay, so once we go back, once this finishes up, we can go back home. Oh, fresh. Here? Not yet. So we can, let's see the disk space here. Disk. That to the dashboard. Here. This space. Now we are going back to the HPOT to see if we need to add more sizes. So we would. Looks like create and attach new disk. We might not have enough memory here. This says size, but let's just play it out and see. Let's go back home. Let's just see all. So we're gonna use SSH here, and let's see if we can use that using the Azure command line. Select validating prerequisites. Okay, it's validating. Cool, cool. Configuring. Sure. So it looks like we can skip this SSHing into the Azure. Um, but for now, let's just wait till this compiles, and then let's see if we can install the TPOT onto this Ubuntu machine. Okay. All right. So looks like we're in. We're doing a PowerShell here. Um, Connecting terminal. Cool. Okay. Looks like it's loading. Switch to PowerShell. Now looks like I'm in the request and Cloud Shell terminal, Azure Cloud Shell. Okay. Okay. Right now I'm just pressing enter. Oh, okay. Here we go. Looks like I'd have to restart it. Restart. Okay, so it looks like it's updated. Let's see if we can update this Debian. So let's go sudo apt update sudo apt upgrade. This work? Okay. Okay, so I guess I wouldn't need sudo apt update. Switch to PowerShell. Okay. Install. Yeah. Hmm. Configure prerequisites for SSH using Azure command line. No. I guess we can RDP on Linux. Go bash in. Okay, so we're gonna have to go home. Home. Means create Azure. guess it didn't save. So create an Azure virtual machine. Windows. Where are my resources? Okay. Favorite. Recent. All resource groups. Here we go. I'm not too sure why that didn't show up. Okay. Add to favorites. Into dashboard. Okay. Okay. Is it there now? Interesting. Not sure why that isn't in there. Oh. Resource groups. Okay. Okay, so we finally got the Windows SSH to honeypot group. We will need the virtual machine here. So this is it. So let's connect here. Connect native RDP, select public address, great. Validating, great. So we can just RDP into this. So we're going to take this public IP address. Actually, I don't think we would need to. We would need an RDP into here, and then we need an RDP into the honeypot. So let's just go straight into the honeypot. Connect. Remote desktop, RDP on Linux. Not too sure why this isn't going on here. Public IP address. Here we go. Okay. User. All right. Beans honeypot. Okay. So let's just go on putty. I'll just do this that way instead. Can make this larger. Okay. It's a little tiny here, but hopefully y'all can see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the hostname or IP address. The hostname, or let's do the IP address instead. IP address is this. Okay. And do 52.186.171.07. Port I believe it's open on all ports, so I really don't think it's too much, but let's go with 22 open. We will accept, log in as VN's honeypot. Hmm. Okay, so since that honeypot did not work, we're gonna try to do what Azure wants us to do and see what Bastion is about. Um, Azure Bastion protects your virtual machines from secure and seamless RDP and SSH. Great. Without the need and expose them to your public IP address, deploying will automatically create a Bastion host on a subnet in your virtual network. Okay. So while that's loading, okay. Patient save, Bastion, resource pin. Okay. Figure manual. All right. Big H. Looks like we could allow any, but it's not. Hmm. Allow priority 300. This is the only recommended for testing. We're using a VPN or private save. Well, interesting. I wonder if we can just use this in Bash. I mean, we can, but I didn't have it loaded up. Let's see if we can do this in Bash. let's go with, I do have a parrot on here on my virtual machine. So go in here, create a new version, open virtual machine. Open a virtual machine. VM. File. Um, Taking a while. Windows 11 home. Use a Linux Flare. Create a new virtual machine. Where are my virtual? Oh, looks like I did not. Oh, this one. Okay. I think we're gonna come back while this parrot installs and while the bastion is going, to see if we can update this virtual machine. Hey everyone, so it looks like I was able to SSH into it. So we are currently in our honeypot resource right now. So once we're here, now we can actually start updating the machine and start installing the deployment for the TPOT. So what we can do is sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. If this works, grade .y. Boom. So here we are, we're running it. So it's building, compiling. Now, it'll get a little tricky here. So you just follow the prompt, copy the address. Now it'll get tricky here. Native SSH, follow the prompt, and just when you are in your local computer, it is a little tricks here to make sure you don't need to go into your C drive or anything like that. Just make sure when you are on your the folder where you save your private key, just make sure you just put that in there and you just play around with the locations and a PWD in it. Um, you don't need to copy exactly what Azure gives out. So no VM guests are running hypervisor. So it is looks like it's updated. Okay. Now we can do sudo. Now we can just. I wonder if it still works. I'll get. Okay, clone the TPOT repository. Now this might be a little outdated, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna go back to install this teapot here. So let's go with F12 here. Installation. We've done this. Git and install teapot. So this might have changed, right? So from here, we're gonna take this telecom server teapot. This changed from dtag devsec. So it's changed a little bit. So we're going to use this resource just to basically get the Azure portion going, but we're going to go back to this teapot and we're going to use their resource here. So copy. Now we've updated. Now we can paste. All right, now we are cooking. Again, follow the guide here from creating the Azure services. Change the TPOT folder to CD TPOT or follow TR scripts. Now let's just run this. Okay, so it looks like we are running everything here. Run the install.sh. Okay. In the TPOT folder. Okay. Looks like it's done. It's installed. Okay. Number 2, change into the TPOT folder. So cd, okay. TPOT PE. Now we're gonna, I just want to see what's inside here. Okay, so we got everything. So you can go install. Now we can press tab again to finish the end of the syntax. Install, yes. Can I zoom in here? Great. Cool. Okay. Change the SSH port to CH. Okay. Okay. Now we are using the Ubuntu 24.04 here for the HPOT. Okay, so this is on. Okay. Oh, okay. Hopefully this doesn't. Oh, it's ignoring. Okay, great. And now this is compiling, and this is compiling. We can look into what the different alternatives for TPOT would be. Not alternatives, but exactly what is TPOT. So our goal here is to create a honeypot, see what the new tactic TTPs are, tactics, techniques, and procedures are for the upcoming 2025 year. Um, and we're gonna start doing this around Christmas. So hopefully everything plays out, and within a few days, hackers and we can use the information that hackers are trying to SSH into and trying to RDP or brute force into and see what kind of tactics they're using. Um, TPOT CE. Now we are here. Change the SSH port to change SSH port. Depending on okay. I wonder if this is in. No, this can't be inside Azure. So change the SSH port to TCP 64295. In here, SSH port. TCP. I wonder if this is the actual command. 64295. Yeah, that doesn't work. Not sure if it actually went up. Yes. README could have been the changelog. Installer version update. Docker doc. Let's go into doc. Oh no, doc is a directory. So cd doc plus cyber chef. Okay. Okay. Back. Let's see what this TLDR is. Download. Install the ISO. Run installer. Perl. No, I think we need to learn how to SSH here. Okay. Nope. Over here. Install. First install. Okay, so it looks like we can just sudo reboot this because this clause says depending on your Linux distribution of choice, the installer will change. So these are all just kind of like troubleshooting things that will do some changes with the different Linux distribution. We wouldn't need to run this. So 3, we're good. Follow instructions, sudo root password, check the installer messages. There are some, but I'm not too sure what we can do from there. Reboot. So we can do a sudo reboot. Great. So here we are on my desktop. Okay. Next. Looks like uninstall. Okay, so here we go. Once the TPOT successfully finishes the system, once you reboot it, you can log into the system and the user setup during the installation. Logins are okay. Okay, so let's see if we can do this again. Does it come from my browser? Let's see if my browser. Okay, so looks like we can add inbound port rule here. So it looks like we would have to go back to our Azure inbound rules. So create inbound rules. Inbound, add inbound port rule. So this is what we saw from the documentation. So add name TPOT SSH, allow their name here. Name. Here we go. TPOT SSH allow 64 TCP source or IP destination port ranges. Okay, you see a port 22 for all the ports. Delete the SSH rule. Okay, so delete this rule. Okay, delete this. Yes. Now we are creating a new one. Inbound. Source. Guess any. Good. Okay, choose any. Add inbound port rule button. TPOT SSH. Allow port 64295. That's what we saw before. Yes, 64295. Protocol, TCP, source, my IP. There's source here. My IP address. Sure. Source port ranges. That can be any. Allow. Okay. That is one. Second one. TPOT web portal 64297. Three inbounds. So these are inbound. Let's go TPOT SSH. No, we did that. TPOT web portal is the name. 64297. 64297. TCP. Oh poop. I put this as any. Oh well. Your destination, your IP, and address. Hey everyone. Thanks again. If you're here at this moment in time, I just want to let you know thank you for sticking it out and trying to figure out with me on how to deploy and set up a TPOT within Azure command line. Oh, excuse me, within Azure. Um, as you can see, it's morning time here. It took me about the whole night to figure out what was going on with it. Um, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. So we got to the point where we were able to SSH into the actual box itself, do the update, install TPOT, but the instructions state that once you install and upgrade the TPOT, you won't have access until you set up the networking portion. And ultimately, that's where I kind of like failed and didn't understand what was going on in that little portion, a little tidbit. So what we're gonna do next is I'm going to install Ubuntu VM and gonna go from there, and you can see I've already got it kind of going around in the background. Um, and just done entire disk. I only put 80 gigabytes in here. I know the documentation says about 128, but I guess we can just play around with it and we'll see how the setup goes. But that's for another video. So we're going to, in the meantime, thanks again for sticking out with me. It was a learning curve for me, on the networking side, on the cloud side, trying to understand how things work and piece together. But I'm excited to see this journey and how this teapot and honeypot goes into the new year. Thanks, everyone.